Hello and welcome everyone to another episode of Derptopia SMP. My name is Fiasco. Thank you so much for joining me. We have been busy. That's right, our Coliseum is basically done. Let me show you around a little bit. And here we'll start. So this is a ship that I built, and I am very happy with it considering I just kind of winged it. I don't really build ships very often, but yeah, it came together pretty nicely. And the idea of this ship is for the gladiators, the fighters, to put their banners underneath or kind of on it somewhere. Hopefully not like on the masts or anything like that. But yeah, just to place a little Easter egg for fighters to put their banners around. And this is how the outside turned out. I really, really like this dripstone architect or landscaping that we did. Over here we have banners saying "Test your might," a little Mortal Kombat reference. And in here, well, also our towers that I added, they turned out really good. Let's take a little peek up here. If we walk up the path here, we can actually go inside and go up these towers. I imagine most people will fly. Here's a little cobble alleyway back here, and then up this retaining wall here, you can access the rest of the towers. Very happy with how these turned out. I built the actual towers themselves, and I was very close to tearing them down because I wasn't loving them until the tops got put on. And now I do love them. Yay! So many crafting tables just strewn about. I never, ever remember where I leave these, and I just end up making more. Let's grab those now, and I'll see you in the arena later, buddy. But first, we need to introduce ourselves to it. So if we come on in here, these gates might get swapped out. Not sure if I love those. Rule number 1, no explosions of any sort. Should be self-explanatory, but I really can't risk anybody bringing any end crystals in here and blowing a bunch of stuff up. That just wouldn't do. Now, the name of the Coliseum has been decided, and it will officially be called the Mortal Kombat Thunderdome Blood Bowl Coliseum of Champions. Just try to change my mind on that. That's the coolest name ever. And if it's like this, you can call it whatever you want. You can call it the arena, the Coliseum, the Thunderdome, the Blood Bowl, anything you want, you can call this. And I just thought that that was a funny name. So yeah, that's basically it. Over here we have a preset standardized rules in case the fighters want to just choose this rather than coming up with their own. This should be pretty fair. I might add something to this as people kind of game the system later. I know tipped arrows were a big one because there's a little trick you can do with a multi-shot crossbow and arrows of harming that basically one shot kills anybody. Here is our area. This is pretty simple. I just kept it like this so that the floor can actually be swapped out based on what we want and what we need. But right now, this is the redstone that Magnetosphere did for us. A very smart character, that Magnetosphere. And basically, you can activate any of those dispensers with these buttons up here. There's nothing in them right now. But this is our trap door, which activates those fall traps. And the middle one spits out a lava blade. Very cool. It also retracts it. So fighters will have to use this kind of at their own risk because this obviously could destroy their items. So people, if they want to load up some dispensers before fights and have their friends activate them and whatnot, that could be kind of fun. Down here, there's only one thing actually that needs to be completed, and that is the redstone on this door. So I'll actually show you the other side. So over here on the green fighter side, or cyan, or whatever this color is, it's a little cramped, it's a little not ideal, but it does work. Here is the redstone door. It's a one-way. Once you enter the Mortal Kombat Coliseum of Champions Thunderdome Blood Bowl, there is no coming back out. So you either emerge a victor or you do not emerge at all. And in that case, you set your spawn here. So that's basically it. This little room back here, I'm just going to put some iron bars back here to cover this up, seeing as how we have actual entrances now. This is just kind of some behind the scenes redstone stuff. I'm just going to leave this all here as is because this is not a public area. This is, you know, this is staff only type of thing. I just don't have the 2 iron bars that I need to finish this project right now, which is very frustrating. So that's basically it. This is This was a huge project for me. I know the grand scale of things maybe doesn't seem massive, but I had to activate my elytra. But it took a long time. There's a lot of details in here that I'm very proud of. And yeah, so that is my community project all done and dusted. So if people want to settle things in the dome, they are allowed to now. So yeah, I'll send a message in Discord and hopefully people start killing each other left, right, and center. But in the dome, consensually, of course. Now, what are we on to for the rest of today? Now that we have exhausted ourselves building that Colosseum, we are going to take a little trip and work on something at the base. And Fire Artist actually has been laying out some paths on the roof here, which I imagine took a very long time. These will go to like public farms and things like that. And I actually use them to navigate the nether roof now. It's so much easier. So I know if I find Hani's heart, I just go a little farther. There's the village people, I believe we're calling them. And this is my spot right here. It is so much easier to navigate when there's some waypoints on top. So now today, I think, are going to take things a little bit easier and mark out our territory a little bit better. You see, I've got these pillars of wool around, and this is me being a greedy Gus again, not really wanting people to build in my area. Now, the rules for having an area is that they need to be clearly marked out with a solid fence or wall or something like that, and have signs around. So I know I said I wasn't going to do a wall around my kingdom, because it just wouldn't really be realistic, and I already had these watchtowers, but I think that we are going to do a bit of a wall, and it's going to be pretty far out and actually quite big. So it's going to probably take a long time. I might be underestimating how long this project is going to take. But I think that it will be worth it in the long run because I want to give myself room to expand, and I also want to make sure that nobody builds something ugly within kind of render distance of my base here. So if I'm flying around the base, I see all my beautiful stuff, but I don't really want to see other people's stuff. I know that makes me greedy, but that's just how it be. So if I put a perimeter over here, this is far enough away where anyone could build something like right here, and I actually wouldn't see it from my base. So whereas if somebody built something right here on the outside of my tower, I definitely could see it from my base. So it's just a little bit of extra protection for me visually. Also, walls are fun to build. I don't really know what the design is going to be. I don't know if I want it to be ruined, probably a little bit ruined. You know how we be. I just find ruined things more interesting. Also, brand new walls. I don't know. Walls should look old. I didn't just. Whoa. Gotta love that lag. Anyways, I'll design a wall, and we're going to get cracking on that. But the first thing I need to do is actually mark out where the wall is going to go, and I'll probably need to grab some wool for that because it's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot. But I need to know when I start building the wall what path to follow, and that is going to help me greatly. So let's get a cracking. I might need to go and stock up on some wool. Okie dokie, I have marked out my territory. And I'm not exaggerating when I say this is going to be a long, long wall. It took me probably 20 minutes or more just to set the markers around this thing. It is going to take a very long time to build. But that's okay, because, it'll be worth it, I think. Hopefully. Now, the next step is going to be designing a wall that doesn't make me want to die when I build it. It's going to need to be simple. Obviously, I'm not going to do anything super complex for a border wall, but it also needs to be even maybe just 1 block wide, 2 or 3 at some points. Oh, also I triggered a skeleton horse trap, and now there's a bunch of skeleton horses here. I might come and grab those later. Yeah, it has a lot of bends and curves, and it even engulfs our little slime farm over here. We are getting pretty close to Wallace's area. I believe this is Wallace, but that's okay. See, this is actually quite a nice wall that he has built. Very simple and very easy to go in, around corners, around curves, things like that. So maybe I'll even use these wall blocks for it. That's a pretty good idea. So yeah, he is definitely our closest neighbor, and I'm sure that he won't mind me having a wall considering he has a wall. So yeah, this thing is going to take a very long time to build, and the design process will be very important as well. And we can have some fun with it too. It goes over rivers and lakes in some areas. Here's a bit of a chasm we're going to have to go over. So we'll need to get a bit creative with things like that. And we can have it crumbled in some areas, but yeah, this is going to be a big one. But like I said, should be worth it in the long run. Now let's see if we can mock up a design. Maybe I'll pop into creative real quick, and we'll check it out and see if we can get a wall that we're happy with. And this is what I've come up with. I know. It's nothing fancy. This is not something I would normally build, but because of the scale of this project, this is kind of what we have to go with. Which I'm still actually quite happy with it. I think we're going to go with the mossy everything for it. Normally I do like some texturing with this stuff, but honestly, that is going to take so much longer. And if we do feel like it, maybe if this doesn't take as long as we think it's going to, maybe we will come back and do some texturing later. And there are a few details that I would normally add in, like something like that, just super simple with the fence gates. And that is a possibility too. Now, these posts where this wall is broken up with the wooden posts, it's just going to kind of be wherever I feel like it should be. I think a standard like 1, 2, 3. Okay, that happened to be 10 blocks wide. I think maybe, yeah, we can go every 10 blocks, do something like that. And then where it like curves and goes around and things like that, that can work as well. But basically it gives us a good baseline for how this should work. So we can go and like fill in our wall like this. I'll probably go around and do it in segments. So the first thing I'll do is do like a stone brick base around the entire thing. And then I'll go and put my pillars in, and then we'll start on the cobble. This is going to require an insane amount of moss, though, in order to get all of these mossy blocks. So I need to do a little bit of farming, a little bit of resource gathering. I can't even estimate how many blocks this is going to take. So I might need to rob the council a little bit of their stone supply and see if we can get some sort of moss farm going as well. But I think that's what we're going to call it for this episode. It's been a little while since I've released one, so I'd like to get this out to you. I have been struggling with my computer since I started upgrading it. To spare you the details, it has just not been going that great. I do have a better graphics card now, but things are getting thrown off. The internet seems to be ruining the audio or the quality. I don't know yet. I'm troubleshooting it, but I at least got it to a point where I should be able to record episodes. Streaming, it's still a little difficult, but we will figure that out, of course. I don't want to keep you guys waiting too long between these episodes because, I appreciate you guys watching. So I'm going to get back to work on that. Until next time, my name is Fiasco, and I'll catch you in the next one.